My skin is black.
What you looking
My
at?
skin
Yeah,
is black.
I feel so good to be black right now.
is black.
What you look-
Welcome to episode 159 of the Black in Fashion podcast. Thank you guys for joining us, and I hope you guys are happy to see us back. This is the first episode of 2024, and I got my girl Tiffany with me. Yassi. This is the first episode of 2024, so we bring it in the new year strong. Of course, guys, we got a new little segment. It's called the Crazy Client Chronicles. So we're going to be sharing stories from anonymous people, and we've already started getting submissions in. And I want to share some stories as well. I'll ask a guest if they have a story that they want to share. But the whole point of the Crazy Chronicles is to basically grow and learn as an entrepreneur. Yeah, we have crazy situations, things happen, there's different perspectives, but if you tell a story to someone, they're able to provide perspective, people can weigh in on the conversation, and it can help you grow so that we can eliminate any conflicts within like client and business relationships, especially in our black community full of black businesses. So, thank you, Tiffany, for joining me today.
Yes,
I appreciate
thanks for
you.
having me.
Tiffany, you're a custom designer, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to have Tiffany tell us a little bit about her background, where she's from, and where the fashion bug bit her. But before we tap there, I just got a little segment that I just refuse not to do because I do it every episode, and it's called This or That. You ready?
Okay.
Flare leg or skinny leg? No, because skinny's is out. Flare leg or stack leg?
Stack leg,
Crew neck or V-neck?
crew neck,
Hoops or studs?
studs,
Mule or wedge?
mule,
Side boob or under boob?
side boob,
Lashes or brow? Lashes and a good brow or full beats?
lashes, and a good brow.
Hey now, lashes and a good brow. That's
Yeah.
all you need for melanin, okay? All right, so Tiffany, tell us about where you're from, and when you started designing and how you got that fashion bug.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I started designing. My very first sketch was in 7th grade at a public school up the block, where I started tapping into knowing I wanted to be a designer. Like that was in my 8th grade yearbook. Fast forward, I was outside, like in high school, so I didn't really tap into fashion until I went back to college. I went to Virginia State University.
Oh, come on, VSU.
Yeah.
I know quite a few VSU girls.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah, so I went there, and on campus, I was taking liberal arts, and on campus, one day, I seen a sign on the wall, and it was like TAM, which is Textile Apparel Merchandising and Management. And I was like, they have fashion here? And that was it.
That was it for you?
That was it. I went
At
to that
VSU,
department.
do you know Zena Lene?
Yes, I know Zena.
Zena is
She was there when I was there.
Amazing. So Zena I have a non-for-profit. It's called the Black Girls Designer Club. I'm the president, and Zena's the VP.
Oh,
We
really?
do like free mentorship and coaching to like young creative girls from ages 6 to 22, and then we partner with community centers too.
You have to invite me.
Yes.
Yes,
We do a lot
I
of
just
events.
donated 23. I donated a lot. I still have a lot more, but
Fabrics and stuff. Oh, so we have one
Different.
right now. We have a clothing drop and a fabric drop. It runs all the way into February, and we got multiple drop-off locations too.
okay, I have to see what else I have in storage, but I have a couple more items or things that I could definitely
Gotcha.
do.
And I know. So if you a VSU person, you've been this summer too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a Delta.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of my great friends, her husband is married to Sharif. I mean, Sharif is her husband. Her husband's married to Sharif.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know all those guys. Okay, so
So-
tell me a little bit about your journey as a designer. What would you say your aesthetic is? If you could give me like maybe 3 adjectives to describe your brand.
Animated, specialty. I always say specialty clothing. Authentic.
Okay.
I have more. Contemporary. Storytelling.
Storytelling.
Yeah.
Glad you led there. So, storytelling. Who is your ideal consumer, or is there maybe a public figure that you feel embodies your target consumer?
My target market is like parents because ideally I do children's wear.
Okay.
Yeah, so children's is my market. And I would say parents that fall between 25 to 50, that's fashionable and stylish, and want their kid to stand out because the pieces are like they're niche pieces, and they're so vibrant in color. The texture that's used, the layers of the fabric gives off a story or looks very artsy. So it stands out. It's not for the quiet, kept, bland. It's not for that consumer. No.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what does your edit process look like? Because I feel like kids clothing can be very, very challenging, especially like these days, because we have a lot of children that seem to like dress like adults. You know?
Yes.
So how do you because you're a custom wear designer, are you willing to tell a client no if you feel like it's too extreme for you? Like as far as like, oh no, I would never make something like that, or are you more so like trying to coach them? Like I don't think that
Renee. So most funny you ask that. What most clients that come to me, they know what look they're coming for. Like they know we have such a strong brand presence. I would honestly say that when they come to shop, they know what they're going for. If they're trying something that they've never seen me post before, that they've never seen before, they know like I'm just gonna throw this theme out there and you go do your thing. Like most people that pay, they don't know what their garment's going to look like unless they asking for something that they already seen that I made before. Other than that, it's like, I'm going with whatever your creative direction is. So when they picking up, it's always a surprise. That part I love that.
I love
like,
that.
That means you trust my vision. And for custom designers, that means a lot.
Everything.
Because it takes away that hassle of that back and forth conversation of, I can't do that, but I could do this. Is like, they kind of know what we give as a brand and how we produce. And also to piggyback off of what you said about like kids wearing adult clothing. So what made me get into that market it was my son's second birthday, and he had a theme, Yo Gabba Gabba, that was like character out back then. And I was trying to look for, and that was in 2012. So the bigger brands weren't producing kids clothing just yet. I think Gucci had just started.
2012.
No, Gucci had just went to like launch maybe the year before that kids line, but it was very small. And so I was like, I mean, I could throw designer on him, but I'm like, but I don't want him to look. He's 2. I don't want him to look like an adult. That's not the goal. And it's a Yo Gabba theme. So God wouldn't let me. It was like this idea that came to my mind, and it would not leave. Like every time I'm sleeping, I'm waking up, it's like, make this sweater. It's gonna look like this. And it's like one character in the middle, one character on the sleeve, another character on the sleeve, on either sleeve. And that's all I kept seeing. So I went, bought a white sweatshirt from like American Apparel. I took it apart, dyed it, go in to sew and put these pieces on it. And once I posted that, people inquired about it. And then I just started with a couple of orders, but sweaters grew to so much more, like moving 11, we're going into our 12th year now.
That's amazing.
Like, sweaters grew into so much. I couldn't have predicted as much that took place.
But that's such a, like, sweaters are like athleisure.
Yes.
Like sweatshirt, like, it's such a market that does not leave. You know how, like you have trends that come in and out. You have different, like, I feel like you got so many things, but when it comes to sweatshirts and like sweaters and stuff like that,
they don't go. They don't go. They're classic.
They classic. Like they don't go nowhere. You can like the silhouettes change up a tad bit, the fit changes, the colors, the fabric changes, but like that is one silhouette that you could just get away with doing like forever.
That's so true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I have like a segment. It's called "It's a Success" or "It's a Disaster." Can you tell me about a time in your journey there where you went through something that went really, really bad, but you learned something from the experience and it made you a better businesswoman?
A specified time that stands out.
It was bad, but turned good.
Right. So there are times, I'm a perfectionist, so there's plenty of times that I've hit walls, maybe with producing something and having it done in time. Like if I'm customizing whatever was going on in life at the time, I probably was pressed for time. So I may be rushing, and then maybe I have to go and drive and meet. Those used to be a lot of my inconveniences when I first started, like early years. I'm like driving to meet the customer at the venue to bring it to them for their kid birthday back then. I'm trying to think of what else that used to drive me crazy. Or maybe sometimes a design just wasn't sitting well with me, and once again, it's probably that crunch time that it's like you have to give it or just try your best. And sometimes customers would love something that I'm still like, that wasn't my 100%. That was 85. But thinking of a really inconvenienced moment, I feel like I'm a little removed from it that I don't.
That's
even
good.
remember.
Okay, I'm like, the
I feel
less
like
problem,
I'm a
the
little
better.
removed from it that I can't recall a time that I was like, oh my gosh, I can't.
But
it was a while ago.
That's good
Yeah.
because what we want is to continue to grow and to be better. So that means that you probably didn't work out all those kinks and was just like, I left that behind.
I eventually started figuring
it out so that you
Yeah.
have less things. So
Yeah.
tell me your thoughts on the fashion industry. Do you, and I feel like that there's a lot of things out there that's just like, oh, it's creating space for us. Like, like there's the Aurora James, like the not-for-profit, the 15% pledge, just putting like more black people on the shelves and stuff like that. And then there's a lot of different programs, like the Harlem Fashion Row has like a program that helps like designers. But what are your thoughts on like trying to infiltrate the quote-unquote fashion industry versus just creating your own black lane? Like I guess I want to find out what your thoughts on like as cross as like being accepted in the fashion industry opposed to being like I don't want to be accepted. I just rather just stay over here in my lane and build up this black fashion community, build up this blac fashion industry. I'm not trying to be accepted.
Yeah.
It kind of puts me in the mind of like, Marcus Garvey, W.E. Du Bois. Marcus Garvey said go back to Africa. W.E. Du Bois said we need to be the black elite, we need to sit in. Honestly, same mission with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Malcolm X said, fuck these niggas, let's just go back by any means necessary. Martin Luther King is like, we all got to stick together. I have a dream.
Yeah.
So what do you feel, and like where do you feel like you lay? Like, are you like I'm trying to get where they at, or I don't care. I prefer to be here.
I would love to eventually like maybe collab. I'm sure during, especially after pandemic, like those grants and different programs. I think I did like Raise Fashion.
Oh yes.
Now or something like that. I appreciate those efforts, but I can't say I got much out of them. I did much better grinding for myself and figuring it out and having a balance of true faith and God to guide me to be in the right place at the right time and making connections. Like, so even when I started with my son's sweater, that also was a lack of me getting jobs back then in the fashion industry because I had a degree. I graduated cum laude and I'm looking at all these credentials. Like back then I thought like that's gonna get me in the door, and I'm from New York already. I'm set. And when I came back home, I was denied. We all know why, because of the color. I would see girls that was underqualified. Like I started doing visual merchandising at Saks back then, and
I worked at Saks too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I think I was like a brand coordinator at Hammond Lane for a little while.
Oh, really? Okay, I was on the other floor at that time. I was with like Burberry, Missoni,
gotcha,
Lafayette, those brands. And when I was there, my manager, I would tell her like, I'm not staying as a visual. Like, I need to be in corporate.
Facts.
I'm trying to get across the street. That's the main reason why I came here, is to go across the street. And so she was trying to also help me. And one day, they did a walkthrough, and they came with the buyers. And the buyers had a bunch of young Caucasian girls. And I was, so I started inquiring, like, oh, are y'all buyers already? They're like, no, we're interning. And then some of them were like, I already have the position once, like, I guess, like, summer was coming or something.
Okay.
And I was just taken back, like, how old are you? Because I already done graduated. They didn't graduate yet. They're still in school. Some of them already have full positions. They're 18 years old. And I was like, oh, yeah, I know what this is about. It's clearly, it's evident. Like, I went to HR already and sat with them. So once that opportunity came with the sweaters, I knew once I started taking it serious, like, you got to have your own brand. Like, that hit.
Absolutely.
That hit in 2013, 2014. I did my own trademark and things of that nature. So starting from then, I feel like I put in my head, you have to
Do it yourself.
Okay. And you have to create your lane. And you don't have to stick to time. You can't. You create your own opportunities. To those timelines too. Like, you got to have it out for spring, summer, fall, winter.
I don't believe in that either.
I don't believe in that.
Girl, I'll put out when I want to when I feel like it.
Yes, and it's gonna sell out.
Exactly.
Or I'm gonna push for it to sell out. Or it just be maybe a small segment of a collection that you get.
I do the same thing. I make handbags and I make hats. I make coats. I make luggage, stuff like that. But I put it out. Like, I don't have like no. It's a season. I put it out when I feel like it.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm feeling inspired. When I'm feeling creative, so that I'm not holding myself to like unrealistic standards. I've done it in my mind. Like, I'm gonna put this out by this time. I'm like, girl, that ain't coming out till it's ready. Girl, I've been writing a book for 3 years.
And keep
it'll
going.
come out when it come out.
It's gonna come out when it come out.
It's gonna come out when it come out. And just to piggyback off what you said, so I worked in corporate for mad long. And I'm gonna tell you, I moved here in 2014, and I had a design degree, and I had 4 years of retail management experience because I've managed 3 different stores in Chicago, and then I had been in retail since I was 16 years old. So I got all this retail experience, and then I got a design degree. I couldn't get a job either, and I was kind of irritated, and I was mad. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna move to Atlanta. And I'm going to go to SCAD. I'm going to get this master's. Because when I moved here to get a master's at LIM in fashion management and merchandising.
I got my master's from them.
See, I didn't
in 2014.
That's the year I was there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You just definitely said
yeah, that's when I went to LIM to get the master's. But honestly, my professors, they loved me. But they was like, you don't need to be here. They're like, you don't need to be here. You know too much. And like literally, I'm holding all the conversations in class. I'm literally using the same projects and the same books that I used in undergrad.
You know what? I graduated 2014, so I got there 2013.
Okay, so you started. So I started January of 2014 for that master's program.
And I left May
and I honestly didn't feel like I needed it. I didn't even like.
I can't say it held any weight for me moving forward.
I copied and pasted all the projects I did in undergrad because in undergrad, even though I had a design degree, I took merchandise management, I took retail, I took visual merchandise, I took all of those classes as like electives and stuff. So I didn't really feel like it was worth it. So I could never get a job. I had a mentor from high school that was like, you need to talk to my cousin. You need to talk to him because you've given up on New York too soon. I said, girl, I'm going to Atlanta. Can you just write me this recommendation letter? She's a Delta too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm like, can you just write me this recommendation letter? I don't want to go. She was like, go talk to my cousin. After a while, I just went ahead and did it. I went and talked to him. He was from Chicago too. But he owned a company in the garment district that made outerwear and handbags. And he told me when I came up, they said, I can't even afford to pay you. Like, honestly, I just do everything myself because it's so expensive. So I'm going to give you a job. And what we're going to do is you can work here for like 6 months. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put on your resume, you've been here for like 2 or 3 years. But I'm going to teach you how to do everything. So, girl, I did merchandise. I did product development. I did production. I did EDI. I did accounts receivable, accounts payable. I did showroom sales. I designed like 4 or 5 coats for Macy's that were sold in Macy's. You go, girl. Yes, I did. And all this stuff. And then I ended up being able to get a job after that. And then after that, it was easy. But I needed that helping hand. And because all his contacts were white. Like the people at Macy's that bought my designs, the people he sending me toys like, you know what, this person is hiring, go check them out. This person, because once he told me the 6 months was up.
Once you make a connection, then it works.
It
but
works,
if you don't have
so you gotta know somebody
because
I'm constantly applying. I never got anything.
Yeah, I went on so many interviews and but retail.
But retail,
they'll take you for retail.
Yeah, anytime you gonna work these holidays and these weekends and these nights. Oh yeah, we gonna take you because you gonna do it. Okay? Exactly. Ain't nobody wanna do that shit. Basically,
exactly. It's all in connections. And what I do want to say this, like one of my greatest connections for like in the recent years was when I was in Mood and I met June Ambrose and while I was in Mood and this was a month. I'm very like I tap into like being spiritual, going on fast because you need. I don't know what exactly
I'm with you
believe in, right?
Fast and spiritual.
You need it as a balance as an entrepreneur. Period. To believe in yourself and feed yourself that you got this, you should still do it. Don't watch what it look like.
I got affirmations next to my bed. I got affirmation cards that I pull every morning.
You have to feed your brain, your mental, your psyche in every way possible. So sometimes I'm like, I need to fast from everything. I don't want to have no conversations for this entire month. Like, I'm not on the phone. Unless it's my son or my mom calling me. Me and my sisters can't even gossip right now. Like, my blood sisters, no. We can't be on the phone. I don't want to gossip. And that month, I did that for a month, and towards the end of the month, I'm in mood, and a voice was like, "That's June Ambrose." This is mass season too, so I'm like, "That is not June," and I'm over here like moving fabrics, like that is.
You was looking up, trying to see
And
what
I'm
was
looking, and then I just alter myself, and then it's like, "That's June Ambrose." I'm like, either you gonna say something or you gonna let the opportunity pass you by. So I was like, damn it, because I don't even like approaching like celebs, or I just don't do it. So I was like, all right, let me go. So this was already out of my comfort zone. I go, I'm like, you June? And then she moved me. I was like, I'm June. I was like, oh, okay. So introducing myself.
That's what's up.
I show her what I did with children's wear, but I'm like, I mean, how would she
What
would
with her? She
correlate
getting her
with
kids, but she bringing her kids into the fold.
Yeah.
Her daughter is like doing the Adidas stuff with her.
Right, but her daughter is still at this time. She was like graduating high
She's
school,
young,
so
right.
they're bigger. So I was more. My market is more so like toddlers.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that smaller, that younger segment. So she was like, "Dang, what baby or kids do I know?" And in my head, I'm like, "You know the Carters." That's what I'm thinking, right? But I don't say that. And then I show her this chair that I did. That was like something else that I went and did, this plush chair. So when I show her the chair, she was like, "I have an idea. Give me a number."
Okay.
So we exchange numbers. I leave. She texts me immediately once we leave the store, and then I'm like, I'm gonna follow up with you. I have this idea, and so she asked me to make a Puma chair, a chair made out of Pumas for her office.
Okay.
So we did that. I produced a chair for her and stuff. She take care of it, purchased it, and then we still keep in touch. And then the executives come to have a meeting in her office, and they see the chair like, where you get this chair from? And then she plugged me in. I had a contract with them for like
Puma.
Yes.
Come on, girl.
For their Formula
Shut up.
One. Formula One, you know, with the driving and racing cars, the women.
Yeah.
Part of their like campaign, they have a diary room where the racers, when they off the track, they talk in the diary room. So they contracted chairs for their diary rooms for like Miami, France.
That's what's up.
In the UK. And I was like, that is so, like, look at things that
Happen.
You can never plan.
Yeah.
I could have never
planned that.
I could have never
Yeah.
planned that.
I
Or thought
thought
of that as even an opportunity.
I found that, and I've done like a lot of different business programs like that. That networking piece and like not being afraid to speak up. I met her on the street too, and I started talking to her, and I've been connected with her, and I did a project with Puma as well.
You see, like, I'm telling you, like, I give her flowers.
Yeah,
for that.
And it wasn't even like I had met her in a different setting, and she wanted me to do something else. But then it was another young lady that I connected with that was working with June, and she gave me the Puma stuff. So like it came back around. I'm like, well, hey, girl, I already know, like,
Exactly.
we already worked together before. But that's what's up.
Exactly.
So before we wrap up, I just have this last segment. It's called It's a Muse. I'd like you to share a quote, a mantra, a book, a prayer, anything that you feel that keeps you motivated that you'd like to share with another creative.
All right, can I go to my quotes?
Sure you can.
Because I'm going to do it really quick.
You keep them in your notes?
I do keep some.
Me
stuff
too.
in my notes.
I got a whole bunch of them too, girl.
And you know what? I feel like I came across something. Okay, this is me. I have so many. Don't make choices that take you in the direction opposite of your dreams.
Okay. Don't make choices that take you in the opposite direction of your dreams. I like that. Okay. All right. And if you just want to throw out like your Instagram handles and your website and just like how to connect with you and work with you.
Sure. So Carrie Pennie at CarriePennie. For custom clothing, we do wearable workshops. We create chairs, the plush chairs, like I stated before. Yeah, check us out.
All right. And of course, we will also enter all this information in the show notes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As I always say, stay black. Peace out. Thank you so much for joining us, Carrie. Well, I'm calling you Carrie Tiffany. All right, bye.
I always do that.